What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to another news video. We have a bunch of new campaigns I'm going to be covering, some ones that are ending very, very soon, like today, that I need to talk to you guys about, and of course, some big updates towards the end, including like companies not paying other companies. It's a mess out there, all right? But we're going to make sense of it in this video. Now, as always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate the videos I make every single week for you guys, and you can give even $1 a month, there is a link down below in the description. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank my sponsor for today's video, Into the AM. Now, before you do the whole timestamp skip thing that you guys do, where you skip over this ad, I have something free to give to you guys and a special announcement on this. So just stay with me for a moment here. They reached out to me and wanted me to actually design a shirt with them, to actually like drive the entire design, my choice. As long as it works on a shirt, they are good for it. And that's actually what this is right here. So this is the Eternal Judgment, I named it. So it is a lot of me in here. We got wolves, right? We got the Norse theme. You guys know how much I like that. We have a guardian kind of king protector, lopsided crown. They have my red in here, whether it's the eyes or whether it's the stars in there. There's a lot there. I got to pick the colors. I got to do all sorts of stuff. This is a shirt celebrating kind of what I stand for, that kind of steadfast protection of consumers, right? Is kind of the idea there. And it's just a freaking sweet looking shirt. I actually get commission off this. So if you want this shirt and you want to help support the channel while you do it, there is a link down below. That 10% still works, of course, which means you pretty much get free shipping. There are a limited quantity of these, though, so if you are interested and you do want to support, there is that link down below. Now, free thing. I have a $50 gift card that I want to give to one of you. So when you guys get this, take a picture of you wearing it and submit it to me. Go and send it to my email. You can find it linked in my About section or on my website. And I can actually give that to them and they can compile it and show it off. It'll look great. I'll show you kind of what that looks like in a moment here. The people who do that, though, I will be entering them into a giveaway for that $50 gift card as just kind of a thank you for supporting and being willing to kind of be a good sport about all this. But let's make this something special. Let's make it great. And if it's such a big hit, they get to do it again, which just means I get to make another cool shirt for you guys. You guys know what it's all about. You guys know what it represents now, and we can just dive right in. And really, there's a ton of great stuff here. Now, I'm going to get to the video in a moment here, but as you can see, like, this dude is freaking getting his skeleton ripped out of his body through, like, star stuff. Heck yeah, I am blown away by their designs all the time. They're always amazing. But I do want to show you kind of an example of what I'm talking about. So this is one they did with another content creator, actually. You can kind of see him here. Very passionate, I think, about brewing his own alcohol. So you can see him kind of celebrating, doing what he's doing. And these are his community. These are the people that watch him, that wear the shirt, that are happy with it. I mean, they're all happy, right? Because they're doing what they love. They're wearing something comfortable that's a great quality. It's awesome. I can't wait to see what you guys do with this. I really am excited for this. So again, there's a link down below to that. They've been a long-term supporter because you guys keep clicking that link, because you guys keep finding that good quality. I know it's a good thing, and so I have no problems telling you guys to go click that. So again, link down below to Into the AM. And again, thank you so much to them for supporting the channel for such a long time. We're very grateful for that. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this. And Mr. Timestamp Skipper, welcome. Hi. All right. Let's move on. We have Nightmare Cathedral. This has finally launched. They're at 84,000. They were only asking for 33,000. So they are funded, actually over double funded, and kind of approaching that 100,000. Now, this was, even with the artist, always going to be a niche product. Like, I'm not surprised by this at all. I think a lot of people might think, oh my gosh, it's got like a famous artist's name on it, and it's going to be huge. It's niche, right? not everybody's going to be like, this is their cup of tea. It's mine. I think it looks beautiful. I don't think the gameplay is my kind of thing. It's more of a Euro-y kind of deal. But for people who, like, I love the fact that they included the art. And this is like the game board, right? So, like, that they included the art in all the different sections. And it's not just that. They do have David here working on a solo mode. So, but they don't have that ready yet, which is unfortunate. But they do promise he's working on it. He's like right now apparently working on it. €90 for the game, so it's not like a terrible price or anything like that. And it has an MSRP, but I don't even know if that's actually going to be a thing or not. A ton of minis, but a lot of like copies and stuff like that. But you can see you're kind of going through this track here and you're trying to build this cathedral essentially while going around. You have all these cards that you can play. There's like these nightmares that you can introduce. That's what these guys are here. These are the nightmares. Very, very interesting take on kind of his world. Essentially, it's like you almost exploring his mind just about, which I think is pretty neat. Definitely a celebration of everything he's done. When it comes to like his more famous art style anyway. But yeah, so you have 13 pieces to this cathedral. You have these 4 of them, one in each player color. Same with these guys here. These are the Dreamers. And these are big too. We're going to take a look at them there. 80 different followers, so 20 each for all of you. So it reminds me a lot of Hate with like the Savagery tokens. So it's like, it's not necessarily a mini per se, but it is that premium feel, right? Where you get like these 3D tokens essentially is what these kind of things are. It's how they're using the game and stuff like that. So a very premium feeling. I support that, honestly. I love the Savagery tokens in Hate, and I think it's very similar to that. You get 30 different shadows, 40 different fort levels, because you get to kind of build up your forts in different areas. So you get 10 for each of them. And then these guys are all kind of a one-off. And again, they're actually big. Like, and you can see they even show the art that it kind of came from, or was mostly inspired by. Now, I think they could have done a bit better with like the scale, right? And in other words, like these are supposed to be like massive and huge, right? But you almost need to like put a little person there. Like Aeon Trespass Odyssey did that, right? You'll have a little person on there to kind of give a sense of scale. This is a giant face building thing, right? That's on fire based off of this painting. Whatever the heck that junk is. You got this guy going over here. But notice again, they like put the stuff down here too. Again, these are supposed to be huge. You can see the little guy there. Actually, that's what he did to give that scale. But you won't really get that too much here, except that they're big. But they're all big. So here's the size here, right up to 77 millimeters. 45, 22, and 53. So these 22 ones, again, they're tokens, right? So you pick them up, but they're nice. They're nice. And then your main monsters, like these are like your main guys, and they're 53 millimeters. So yeah, pretty large actually. And then a ton of cards. Just a ton of them. There's all your nightmare cards. There's different cards you get to do for like these development cards. And there's a level 1 and level 2 to them. Same with the dream cards. And then of course your action stuff and whatnot. So it looks neat. They have a lot of information like how to play it, kind of high level, which is nice. I appreciate that. So feel free to take a look if you're interested. There's definitely a lot to look at for here. And it's, again, I love these niche games. I love the fact that crowdfunding can do this, where a small group of people can be like, I am so passionate about this. This is my jam. This is the best thing to ever happen to me in board games. They can fund it and get that. That's amazing. Love it. All right, Malhya, I'm going to go and mention that because they have 38 hours at time of recording. This is the night before, because I always record at night. You guys know how it is. So by the time you see this, there's like 24 hours available. Like, it's very close. So go on and take a look. You'll see everything that's available. They pretty much have it all there. They've broken 500,000. They're on their way actually to $600,000, which is a very, very nice sum for them, and I think well earned. I apologize, by the way, that I did not get a review out in time. I will get some time with it soon here, I think, and when I do, I will let you guys know, and then link to the pledge manager and stuff like that. It'll probably be a speed review, I think. Just get it out there, get it to you guys, but we'll see how that looks like. But my son has still been begging to play this game. It looks very cool, and definitely our style of game when it comes to that. Again, it reminds me a little bit of Arena from the looks of it, but that's not a review. So I'm just saying what it looks like. But feel free to look. There's reviews there. There's all sorts of stuff you can look at. Riot Quest Board Game Edition. This is interesting. This is by Privateer Press. They're at 21,000. They are wanting 100,000. I don't know if they'll get it or not. That's definitely a tall order. Your first day is the most important day, and they're not even halfway, right? So we'll see. What is this? Well, first of all, they have a great font. Love their font. I've used it myself. No, I honestly do. I think it's great. Riot Quest is just like Monster Apocalypse for them, where they've had these like very fancy older minis that are in this Riot Quest game that's like a tabletop game. And then, in fact, I believe they've even had Kickstarters for it. This is the board game edition. They saw what Mythic did with the board game of Monster Apocalypse and how popular that was, and said, well, let's do that with our other stuff. So here's a board game edition with plastic miniatures, board game stuff for our game Riot Quest. However, I think you're kind of seeing why Mythic Games has that Phoenix line, right? Where they're like, hey, you had this product, but it didn't quite do as good as it could have. Let us handle that, right? And so then they do, and it gets bigger, right? I think kind of the same thing here, where honestly, this looks more Borderlands to Borderlands. Like, it literally looks like Borderlands, more than the Borderlands game, right? I mean, just the art style of the weapons and the characters and how wacky. I mean, this is a Borderlands character, right? Like, it just screams that. So, and the menus actually look great. They look nice and dynamic, and they flow really well. It's core pledge is only $99. That's with minis. Like, there's a lot good here, so I'm surprised it's not doing as well. Except that, I don't know, the Privateer Press campaigns typically don't, and I don't know exactly why per se. I'd have to look at it closer. But as you can see, quite a bit of stuff here, right? I mean, there's a lot here. You get 42 dice, a ton of dice. You have a board that's not but ugly. That's not like the most hideous thing I've ever seen in my life. So there's that. Again, talking about the Borderlands game here. So it looks nice. You get a ton of different cards and different gear and stuff like that. Looks interesting to me. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure what the issue is here. They have a pets expansion here. All I know is that they're trying to do the same thing that worked for Monster Apocalypse, and it's not working here. I think it might just be that they need to highlight really I think it's pretty much campaign based, right? Because otherwise, like, $25 expansion for pets, or you can get them both for less than 120. Like, it's not bad. It's really not. Like, price wise anyway, it seems great. I'm sure the minis look cool too. So anyway, that's available. Go and check it out for yourself. Feel free to do that. Next up is Jurassic World: The Legacy of Isla Nublar, whatever. Yeah, so over 300,000 because it's, again, it's IP based. Like, it's an instant win. It's actually kind of interesting because you get pretty much nothing for backing this. It's kind of a Frosthaven thing where this is going like to retail, and honestly, it'll be cheaper in retail because even if this is below MSRP, you won't have to pay for shipping. You can go there and get it. You also won't be out of money for a year or a year and a half, 2 years with no product. You can literally go to the store with all your money, come out paying that exact amount with the game. So, like, retail has some crazy good benefits. And while I always cover the crowdfunding stuff, I always encourage you to, when you can, check out your friend local gaming store. See if you can even order through them. Normally they can actually save you some money on that, and then you end up supporting them. Like, it's a win-win-win. So, because they're the one backing it too, and they'll probably just have to take some money down for it or something like that. Each one kind of works differently, but anyway, they kind of heard that, and it looks very retail, to be honest. They heard that, and they want. And the other thing is, like, they're backed by like Funko Pop, so like they don't even like really need to be on Kickstarter. It's all very weird. They heard that people want something exclusive. So what they decided to do is make one of the minis that you already have and make an amber version of it. There's no gameplay to it. There's nothing there. It's kind of a collectible. So that's about as good as you get, is you get to vote on which one gets that amber treatment. I think it's a neat idea. It's certainly nothing I would pay a whole bunch of shipping for and be out money for years for, just to get, if that makes sense. So it's an odd campaign, but it's doing well because people see Jurassic World and click back. So it's whatever. But honestly, if I were you, I would wait for retail. I mean, unless you really want that amber and you're willing to pay extra for it and be out money for a long time, it just doesn't make any sense. Like they're expecting to deliver in October. We'll see. We'll see. It might be even later than that. So it sounds like it might not take too long. But I mean, just shipping it across the sea takes some time. So I don't know how close they are on all this, but yeah, well, we'll see. Right now, there's like power issues in China. Either way, retail probably the way to go there because shipping is still shipping. Next up, Sentinels of the Multiverse Rook City Renegades expansion. This is still going on. Again, just like Malhya, 35 hours. It's very close to being done. I still have no idea how to play it. This is a terrible Kickstarter page and does nothing to bring new people into the game, which is very unfortunate. So the only people here that are really here are just people who already know about the game, and you're not growing as a company that way. My opinion. So that's kind of a bummer. That being said, they did add some werewolf stuff. So they got like some werewolves going on, these 2 different werewolves. And, while they're not wolves, I'll still take werewolves. They're still wolf-like, and wolves are cool. Hence the shirt, guys. That's there for a reason. Wolves are awesome. All right, Tamashii, Chronicles of Ascend. I've covered this a few times now. This still has 6 days left, so you're still good for a little bit. Over 600,000 and still going strong. This is definitely a big hit for the light spin-off of Awakened Realms, even though they're not doing a light game here. In a way they kind of are, but I mean, you could argue so was Etherfield, so it's whatever. Minis still look very cool. I'll show you what so I kind of left off right around here, right? So as you can see, they've just unlocked more cards, more standees, more stuff under art, right? It'll eventually be a mini. Their art. I mean, I wish they told their artists, hey, why don't you like draw something we can actually make so it kind of represents what it'll be? Because these don't represent it, right? Like this guy has floating things and little tiny fingers. Like, those fingers are going to be a little tiny on there. And obviously you can't have levitating balls on your miniature. That's just not how that works. Or discs or anything like that. Like anything levitating doesn't work like that. We don't have magic here. Or super skinny arms holding out a super skinny screen like that. It's just not going to look like this. So why draw it like that? I don't know. I've talked to Ludus Madness Studio about that too, because they'll sculpt without them. Like, well, we don't want to hinder our artists. It's like, well, you should, because you have to make a physical product. So like, don't have them draw stuff that's pointless. You're just wasting your time and my time by looking at it. I'm sure it'll look great. Their minis are designed quite well. And at this point, they're pretty darn good too, for the most part. I mean, it's E-Star doing it, and they can have some issues, but for the most part, it's okay. But it ain't gonna be whatever the heck this paper thin hologram screen is either. So just make sure you have your right expectations. You'll be doing good. That being said, I mean, how many minis have they added? They've quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus an expansion here for 9, right? And then this one 10. This one's like a 60 millimeter tall too. So about 10 extra minis they've added so far on the ones that they already have had. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that's neat. All right, moving on from that, we have Darkest Doom. Over 200,000 already. They just launched not too long ago. Still 13 days, still more to go. And it's an interesting game for sure. Multiple avenues of winning. You can do a few different things, a few different options. It's a kind of game where like you have the map and you're moving around and you're doing different things, and you can get victory points this way or this way or this way. But whoever gets to that end result wins. There's a lot there. It's all anamorphic, kind of furry kind of stuff going on there. But I think it's pretty cool looking for that. Though that normally wouldn't be my cup of tea. But it kind of reminds me of Dust and Elysium Tale, I think is what it's called. It was an indie game from years ago at this point, I think. A lot of fun, though. Kind of reminds me of that. I actually would have been on this, but they emailed me and I didn't respond for like a month. So, yeah, I'm always behind. It's just the pile just grows, which is a bummer when that happens. So I wasn't able to get back to them in time to really do anything. But looks cool. This guy looks sweet. I dig him. The big rock thing, that'll look pretty cool, I'm sure. So digging that. They have these minis that like encapsulate some of them. I think they have 2 of those. That looks interesting. Honestly, what I like is that it looks different. It looks unique, right? Anytime I can look at all of these games and be like, I don't have anything that looks like that. oh, color me interested. I think that's pretty sweet. This actually is a deck holder as well. It holds a deck, which is kind of neat too. You can see that in the video about it, which the video, if you skip about halfway through, actually starts showing some of the game off. You can get a sense there. Here's the minis. They look very nice. I dig it. There's nothing really stand out that's like super, oh my gosh, that's bad to me, which is nice. Like even his wing already seems like, or like the feathers look quite thick, maybe even a little too thick. But it means it'll print nice. And so I think they're designing it with that in mind. Again, it's very appreciative to do that. It means what you see is kind of what you'll get. There's a few that, might have to change a little bit, but overall, actually pretty impressed with this. I think they've done a good job with it. And again, it looks freaking pretty, if you ask me. Like, it looks really nice. So go ahead and check this out. I think there's a lot to it, and it looks pretty stand out too. So that's cool. And it's already like funded, so why not? Okay, Dead by Daylight, again, over 300,000 IP. It happens. That being said, these aren't hitting 1 million. I think we're starting to see that slow down a little bit. Like, this has a very ugly board. Like, it's like that, like, especially like with the squares and stuff like that. It doesn't look like Dead by Daylight at all. I've played the game, and it doesn't look like that, but it serves the kind of purpose, right? So you're moving from the survivors are moving from area to area, trying to essentially accomplish these little tasks to then be able to leave. Meanwhile, the hunter can go around and like grab people and put them on hooks or do different things like that, and eventually get all of them. So while it doesn't have some of the silliness that you can do when you're actually playing with other people in a video game, definitely has, I think, the feel of the game down, even if not the look. So it's kind of unfortunate that the design choice is how it is with so many square rectangle stuff, but you can see you're completing different things here, right, to be able to do it. But yeah, Hunter can get you too and then drag you over. And honestly, the map looks very small too. There are 6 killer minis here, and then there are more in an expansion, or the collector's edition or some junk like that. And they do all have different kind of unique cards. Not a whole lot of cards, but they do have them. They count them right here. You get this killer perk cards that you get, while the survivors get their survivor perk cards that you're able to kind of play that change up the rules a little better. Hopefully make you feel a little unique. I think that's the idea, especially with the killer. You want to make sure going against different killers feels different, because in the game it does. It makes a big difference, actually. It's a whole different feel to it. So anyway, that's that. And really, the standard edition's what, $50, and then the collector's edition's $100. Again, these cheap campaigns. I mean, I like how $100 is cheap at this point to us, but it really is, right? When some companies are charging $180 because they got 3D terrain shoved up your butt, it's kind of nice to get whole miniatures of some of the terrain and only pay $100. So yeah, there's that. Okko Chronicles, Cycle of Faith at 81,000. That's pretty on par for them. They've never hit one that hit over 200,000. The Red Joker is kind of always indie. And I think a lot of it's their campaign, right? Just how they run it, stuff like that. Because their gameplay's on point. The miniature quality is great. The component quality is honestly quite good on all my Okko Chronicles stuff. It's very nice. So far, they've added this new enemy, this new enemy, this new enemy, some more kind of defenders, 2 two-sided tiles, 4 new scenarios, and a new kind of lieutenant enemy demon guy. So quite a bit of content already here. This would be a big expansion on its own, right? If you bought an expansion, like 3 new enemy types and a new leader and 4 new scenarios and new map tiles to add to it. Like, that's an expansion already on its own, and they keep adding more. So, it's stuff like this. It's companies like this that run a tight ship when it comes to their size of their company, to where they can deliver on 82,000. I have no doubt about it. If this ended right now, I would still get a game of a great quality. So all these companies that like cancel like 200,000 or whatever, I think should take note about what it means to like maybe run a little bit of a leaner business, where you don't have to just get these exorbitant things. You can make Okko Chronicles for the people who want Okko Chronicles, and even if it's niche, you can still make it and make it great. Like, it is possible. They've done it every single time. So, I would like it to do better, of course. I'm a big supporter of Okko Chronicles, but, is what it is. I think they were asking last time, I don't know if they were asking if people wanted the old stuff. This guy's going to look freaking sweet, by the way. I believe they added the ability to add that. Now, I don't know if it'll be in the Pledge Manager or if it's here or what, but they will be doing that. You can't, look, yeah, right here. So now you can add the old stuff. It is mutually exclusive stuff. However, highly recommended it. And they're not even doing a huge upcharge or anything like that. It's €80. You get Okko Chronicles. Fantastic game. Very, very much recommended. One of my favorites, dungeon crawlers, actually. Very, very nice. All right, next up we have Veil of Ruin. This was something I covered for years, actually. I think about 2 years. I teased this, and then it was finally a thing, and then I had almost forgotten all about it. Actually, I would remember it every now and then. I'd check, but there wasn't really anything here. Well, now we got to talk about this. So it starts out great, March update. Oh, look, the product's here, which it's been late. And anytime you name it by the month, you should be doing it every month. So this February, March, April. Well, no May, but we got June, July. Okay. Oh, no August. No September, no October, no November, no December. Oh, January. Oh, no February. Okay, well, hey, March. It really sucks that the later a company gets, the less communicating they seem to do. Not cool. The more communicative you should do. The moment you start delaying, you need to start telling us why and really keep people up to date. Surely in half a year, you did something on this game. If you didn't, that's kind of crap. But what's really crap is this. It would appear that some of the contributors for this project, Salt Games, have not been paid for their work. Please refund my pledge as I do not support a company which practices such behavior, and links. So let's go and take a look at that. This is Salt Games, and they said, some of you may know that we had been hired by Project Darkwater to adapt their upcoming Veil of Ruin to a 5e adventure. This is how they advertised this, by the way. They did this whole thing, right? A 5e D&D, right? It was right there on there. It was always kind of a 5e compatible thing. So how they got all this money from all these people, this 51,000 Canadian, right? From almost over half a thousand people just in here, not including Pledge Manager, of course, was a 5e thing, right? Again, 5e, it's right front and center, right? They're trying to get that. I mean, look, they're mentioning Warhammer right here. They're mentioning D&D 5e, that they are putting name brand stuff on here saying this works with this. This is based off this. This is what we have experience in, all that kind of stuff, right? Now, I don't know what exactly happened. I doubt they went in here thinking, oh, we're going to swindle everybody. I don't think it's malicious in that sense. I don't know if perhaps it was more expensive than they thought it was going to be, because doing, lore books, D&D books, right? All that kind of, it's pricey, right? All the art, all that stuff. I don't know if this is probably too little, right? For what they were trying to do, with whatever business they're trying to run it as. Perhaps that's why they couldn't pay. I don't know. Either way, due to a series of unforeseen events, we need to take this opportunity to formally distance ourselves from Project Darkwater and their owner, Damon Gauthier. We were hired under contract to create a series of assets that would be sold on Kickstarter to advertise their forthcoming game. Since the successful Kickstarter, Project Darkwater has refused to pay us anything for our work. They have repeatedly ignored us, agreed to meet in person only to not show up, and made successive promises that they have failed to meet the bare minimum of. We were excited to get our foot in the door on the tabletop role-playing industry, but personally speaking, absolutely broken-hearted to see our trust betrayed in this way. We are more than happy with our contribution to the project and are excited at the news that Project Darkwater has finally received the Veil of Ruin assets and is ready to ship them. We cannot let ourselves be seen in the company of or affiliated with people who conduct themselves or their business in this way. Thanks for taking the time to read this and have a great day. Well, Kevin and Stu, I will try to have a great day, but honestly, it's pretty upsetting, because it's not just you that they're betraying trust on. It's every one of their backers. It's everybody that dealt with them, including me. I covered their project. It's very unfortunate that happened. There's no reason. There's no, if you're under contract, you do what you got to do. Okay. And I'm going to be blunt here, but, if you need to start flipping burgers half part-time just to pay somebody what you promised when they did work, that's what you do. Tough it up. I don't care. I don't care what the problem is. pay up. like you if you say, hey, do this, I'll pay you, and then they do it and you don't pay them, well, that's just downright terrible. I will say that this is probably going to be your last campaign. I don't think anybody's going to be okay with that. I don't foresee you being the next big thing here. So I guess you did your one and done, and you're done. Goodbye. Not welcome. We don't need you. We have plenty of great companies that do great work, that pay their artists well, that pay their sculptors well, that pay their marketing team well, or whoever it is that they they do what they need to do to run a company. We don't need people not paying. Last time that happened was like this Ninja Division stuff, right? And Archon not getting paid and all this other kind of crap. We don't need that. We need to move past that. So, yeah, goodbye and good riddance, I guess, is all I have to say on that. And Salt Games, I apologize. I'm sure you did a great job. And everybody, except them, will be thankful. Moving on. Uprising, Titans of the First Age. This is coming up. I covered the original one as well. Looks super cool, of course. I have not had time to play with it yet. I will probably lose by the sounds of it because I suck and it sounds like it's hard. And I look forward to it. The art looks gorgeous. So again, I already covered a lot of this. And I've covered this actually when they first popped up, and I'm showing it again because I know it's coming up. They have a lot of videos here already. They also have a giveaway. So let's talk about that in a moment. So they have this pre-campaign page up, right? And they're talking about, you know, okay, here's everything that we're kind of adding here. But then they have a What is Uprising? And then this is a game for you. They got League of Games. Congrats being featured like this on 5 things to know. What's in the box? They got an unboxing of it. So that's super cool. I learned to play. They got a whole bunch of information here for you if you need it. And then, of course, you click on that, enter now, and you are taken to this. So this is a way to get a free copy of Uprising, or and also Arch Nemesis and Titans of the First Age expansion. Look, it looks like a slam dunk deal. Like you want Uprising, this is certainly a way to get it. I will link to this down below for you guys. Feel free to follow these up, get all these. There's one entry per day just for visiting the BB or Board Game Geek page. Okay, cool, done, do it. Sounds awesome. Get yourself a free game. I hope one of you win. Next up, we have Primal The Awakening. I'm only showing this because if you weren't aware, my last video I announced I'm working with Renegades Games to make their minis as good as they can possibly be for you on a consulting thing. Like I don't make decisions, but I do offer feedback, and you know they try and listen. So yeah, I'm working on that. They'll have an update. They don't have it up yet. It should be up. If it's not up by the time I post this, it will be very soon. They're gonna have an update for you guys, and I'm gonna be talking about that. So I'll link down to that as well. And really, guys, that's it. That is my update. There was a lot to go over, for sure. There was me getting a little kind of upset, but I kept my cool. I kept my cool with the whole Veil of Ruin thing, I hope. But there's some giveaways in there, right? There's a free gift card if you buy a shirt and send a picture. There's a lot of great stuff coming up. Some interesting stuff too, like Riot not doing so well, right? Like I'm kind of surprised about that, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on the IP games? What are your thoughts on the map quality we've been seeing lately, or the fact that there's not really one big game out right now, like not a huge one anyway? Like there's no real big $1 million campaigns right now. What's coming up next? What's going to be the big thing? What are you saving up for? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of that down in the comments below. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you appreciated this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk to you guys again very soon. Bye, guys.